in the USA, Kamala Harris has chickened out of a debate with Donald Trump. She has been nominated. The Democratic National Party convention's just taken place, and we've seen a funny situation where there's been a few amusing videos, which I won't play because some of them are quite cruel. But we've seen the TikTok generation try to get out the vote for young people. But Kamala, she's not going to debate Donald Trump, and she's been avoiding press conferences and taking questions from the press in America. And it really is quite astonishing this week, and I'm curious what you have to say on this, Paul. They didn't have a situation where they had a primary. In previous elections, they had a proper primary. And even then, they were it was subverted. But how do you feel about your country, where one of the only two major parties you could become president didn't even hold one?
It's absurd. This is the Democratic Party, and they're putting as the front and center the person who has had no primary votes. So Joe Biden clearly wasn't running the show for a long time, and so whoever the puppeteers are, they basically got Biden passed the primaries. He got all the primary votes, and then one day he woke up and found out that that he's been taken out. Even the New York Times, Maureen Dowd, who's a long established person in the New York Times, wrote an article. I think she was something like, a coup is still a coup. He got. It's kind of from the old Soviet days. You'd go off to the dacha and you'd come back and you'd find you're no longer, the premier anymore, whatever I forgot what they called it during the Soviet days. Biden gets sick with COVID, gets out of bed a couple of days later and finds out he's no longer the front of the ticket. And that's the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Did you guys have any thoughts on this particular question, or?
I have no interest in her at all, actually.
Right.
I certainly have interest in Donald Trump winning again.
Very good. And that's why I put you on the Trump hat sides. Very good. I really have to ask my guests for consent because it appears on the show behind them.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't let me put one on.
Oh, you're welcome to don one now. I was going to say, on this particular topic, it's kind of crazy that, the Democratic Party allowed this subversion of democracy to happen when a Kennedy was running. Because it was shaping up really well. And he was getting a lot of grassroots support before any of this happened. And they just completely subverted they snookered Kennedy.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even want to give him Secret Service protection, except maybe he would have been safer without it. I don't know. But moving on from this particular story, we are going to keep covering the US election. But the last story I wanted to cover, I can't do it on YouTube because it is going to get me banned. So if you want to click the link in the description, if you're on YouTube right now, on any of the accounts there, click the link below, join me on Rumble. We've got a lot of good people there that I'm about to quickly take some questions on. The topic is on Alison Langdon winning a Logie Award, and we're about to talk about the jab and that time that she went after Craig Kelly. And I don't want the internet to forget that because it was very disrespectful. She never apologized, and she's without honor and dignity, in my opinion, and the idea that she's being celebrated as a journalist, as the number 2 silver medal journalist with regards to presenting and breaking the news, it's just like, what the hell? And again, this isn't just me as a competitor going after her. It's about honor, and it's about actually setting it right. I'm a Christian. I believe you can ask for forgiveness, but no apology has been made to Craig Kelly. So Rami, if you don't mind just cutting YouTube now, and just give me the nod when we're...
Give me a second.
No worries. You just have to go to Vimeo and then turn them off, and that's it.
One of the things we could talk about, the Democratic National Convention, they figured out how to build a wall and how to check for ID.
Yeah, right.
Around the convention.
Oh yeah, that's right. They erected a wall.
They cannot do that at the border.
That's right.
And you can't ask for voter ID to vote. But to get into the Democratic National, I mean, this is where it's obviously not about what they say it's about.
No.
If it was about, it's racist to ask for ID, well, then you would do it to get it. Then you wouldn't be able to do it to get into the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's transparent dishonesty is all over the place.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Both Matt Walsh and James O'Keefe have both made their way into the DNC.
How did that?
Did they check his ID? Or
I wasn't there for it, but they're both inside. They were both inside. In disguise.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. How'd you go, Rami? No good?
Yeah, I'd probably get maybe Chris to talk more about, Kamala, and maybe he can come and help me.
Just again going through the DNC process after Joe said that he wouldn't run. The reason why you didn't see any other nominees and this ended up with a final virtual roll call when it came to nomination